LSU's handed out some 2021 offers. 4-star running back Armoni Goodwin. He's currently committed to Auburn. He's a number 3 overall prospect in the entire country at the running back position. LSU feels pretty confident they're going to land 5-star running back Camar Wheaton, the number 1 running back in the country. I hope it happens, but LSU just wants to get at least one elite running back. We saw what happened in this last recruiting class. We'll get to that in a moment. But Armoni Goodwin is fast. He ran a sub-11 100-meter dash. That is crazy fast for a huge running back. So hopefully LSU gets Wheaton or Goodwin for this upcoming class. Also, a 3-star edge prospect out of North Carolina, Kayshon Silver, a 4-star corner out of Georgia in Jordan Hancock. Obviously, we've seen what LSU's done at the corner position. They are DBU for a reason. Jordan Hancock's out there. Hopefully, LSU gets another elite corner for this class. I would feel pretty confident they're going to do that. And this kid, Patrick Williams Jr., okay? 2022 class, okay? That's way down the road. But he plays offensive line and defensive line, and he's also one of the best basketball players in the state of Texas. So an elite athlete all around. But I'm going to give you a bonus because this guy should be priority number 1 for LSU. Quarterback, 5-star, Caleb Williams out of Washington, D.C. My neck of the woods. Well, I lived there for quite some time. But he went to Gonzaga High School. And look, when you run a high-powered offense and you have a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback and you had all these bells and whistles, you begin to catch the attention of the elite quarterbacks. We see elite QBs go to Alabama. We see the elite QBs go to Oklahoma every year, right? Clemson. Now that LSU has won this national championship, they won a Heisman Trophy, they're about to have the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft with Joe Burrow. Those quarterbacks are like, well, maybe Baton Rouge with all these crazy good NFL receivers is the place to go. So even though Caleb Williams has already been offered for quite some time and he's already made that visit to LSU, Joe Brady's gone. He was a big recruiter of Williams, not only with what he did with the offense, but just overall. So Steve Ensminger, the offensive coordinator, has already made trips out to D.C. to visit Caleb Williams and keep that contact fresh. But, you know, with Brady out of the picture, you got to keep that establishment, keep that recruitment going to get an elite prospect that could potentially win you another national championship. Now, I want to throw this out to you. Will Myles Brennan be LSU's quarterback next year? I'm very comment focused. Type Y for yes, type N for no. If you don't think Myles Brennan will be the quarterback next year, give me a name. Is it Peter Parrish? Is it TJ Finley or Max Johnson coming in with this 2020 class? So I do think it'll end up being Myles Brennan. He waited his turn. He could have easily transferred knowing Joe Burrow was going to be the guy, but he stuck it out. So I think Myles is pretty confident he will be the starter, but who knows? Let me know in the comment section, and let's have a debate of what you think the LSU offense will look like next year with Scott Linehan now in the picture as a passing game coordinator. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm ready to talk about it. Let's go. Now look. Have you seen this shirt? Have you seen it? Legend status. This is the locker room t-shirt. We want you to get it now with us, okay? chatsports.com/champions. You can get the official locker room tee, baby. And look, all you have to do is type in the promo code 24SHIP. Look, I even did it for you. 24SHIP, okay? If you do that, you get free shipping, okay? Take advantage of this deal right now. Legend status and all the other LSU gear you can find right now. chatsports.com/champions with our friends at Fanatics. Promo code 24SHIP. Moving on to some stories behind the scenes of the 2020 class. All right, This class was nuts. LSU ended up with the number 4 overall class. Point number 1, we learned that having a beast offense matters. LSU had the best offense in the history of college football, and that is what put them over the top with 5-star tight end Arik Gilbert. In fact, he said that in pretty much every interview that it was the offense. And let's be honest, LSU was really an outlier for Gilbert. A lot of people thought he was going to Georgia or Alabama. He shocked the entire country, his friends, his family. The LSU coaching staff, once they saw Arik Gilbert say that he was going to LSU, they went nuts on LSU's campus. So I'm pretty excited about Arik Gilbert going, and this is what having an elite offense does. You get prospects like Gilbert. You potentially get a prospect like Caleb Williams. Moving on to point number 2. Ooh, this one hurts. Recruiting's just crazy. It's wild. It's unpredictable. And we saw that with Jermaine Burton, Rakeem Jarrett, and Jordan Burch. All the way up until the very end, LSU was burned. And it sucks. Jermaine Burton ended up going to Georgia. Rakeem Jarrett ended up going to Maryland. Both of those guys were committed to LSU, and they decided not to come. And we all know what happened with Jordan Burch. Was he going to go to LSU? Was he going to end up burning South Carolina? The Tigers thought they were in it all the way up to the end. He ended up going to South Carolina. Now, before we get to these final few points, subscribe right now to Chat Sports, okay? Get to it. Mash that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. And type Y if you want to see more LSU content from me, Carter the Power. Let's go. Let's keep this train going. We've been getting thousands upon thousands of views. Our college videos are killing all the other colleges, and that's because you LSU fans are the best ever. So subscribe, and you won't miss any of this great content. Point number 3, the trenches were hit hard. 3 edge players, 3 defensive tackles in this class. I love this class of linemen. B.J. Ojolari, Phillip Webb, Ali Gay, Eric Taylor, Jaquelin Roy, and Jacobian Guillory. 3 edges, 3 DTs. You can't beat it. All those guys are 4 or 5 stars. And I'm telling you, well, they're all 4 stars outside of Ali Gay. But there's one who I think will end up being a 5-star performer. We'll get to that in just a moment. And then on the offensive line, they do get Marcus Dummerville. They do get 2 3-star offensive guards. But I think in the next class, you'll see the offensive line really addressed. And point number 5, mamas matter, okay? Reading what the LSU Insider said, talking to my sources, the mothers, if you follow the moms, you'll follow where these kids end up going. And with Jermaine Burton, with Rakeem Jarrett, you know, guys at 247, guys at Rivals started saying, well, we don't see their mom here on this visit. That's the red flag for a lot of reporters. And then with Jordan Burch all the way up until the end, his mom was like protecting him from answering questions and playing a big role in recruitment. Sometimes when players go against their mothers, it can get ugly. We saw that with Landon Collins, that's like 7 or 8 years now ago. So you never really know in recruiting, but if you follow what the mama wants, we all know that to a degree, we're all mama's kids, especially with us with football backgrounds. Mama, mama, mama. Always follow the mom, and you will find out where a kid's going to go. And follow me on Twitter, at Carter the Power. If you're not a Twitter, I also do Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. You can see some of my crazy LSU stand-up comedy routines. And I reply to each and every one of your DMs, comments, not only below, but on my social media accounts, at Carter the Power. Now, let's talk about 5-star running back Zachary Evans. To me, this was the biggest mishap in this class, and it almost burned LSU in the end. They do end up getting Kevontre Bradford, but really quickly on Evans to put a bow on this entire process. LSU thought that they were going to get Evans, and Evans kept telling LSU, I'm coming. And Ed Orgeron kept going to Houston and visit Evans, and ended up being a mess. This was a guy that had some character issues. He was suspended from his team state championship game reportedly because he wouldn't give up his phone the night before the game to the coaching staff, and his team still ended up winning the game. And then he was supposed to announce at the Under Armour All-American game, and he didn't, and the Georgia LOI and all that stuff, it was a mess, and LSU said, I don't want it anymore. And it kind of burned them because there was a 4-star running back. A lot of you Louisianians kept flooding my DMs about Ashad Clayton. He ended up going to Colorado, and the Warren Easton New Orleans prospect will not be at LSU. Jahmyr Gibbs, to me, was my number 1 rated running back. He ended up going to Georgia Tech. But they do get Kevontre Bradford. He's a top 15 overall back. He can catch the football out of the backfield. He provides some much-needed depth behind a strong group of running backs. But for me, I don't like a recruiting class to not have any running backs. Injuries happen often, transfers, grades, whatever. You need a running back in each and every class. Hopefully Camar Wheaton comes next year, but thank goodness LSU was able to get Kevontre Bradford. Now look, before we get into my final topic of the day, I want you to have a clear mind, all right? Which LSU prospect from the 2020 class will have the biggest impact as a true freshman? Give me a name in the comment section below. We've been talking about these kids for weeks, for months, over a year now. Give me the 1 or the 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter. The ones that you think that'll make big impacts next year. Let me give you 4 right off the bat here. This first one's easy. Arik Gilbert, 5-star tight end. We talked about him earlier. LSU has a hole at the tight end position with Thaddeus Moss and Stephon Sullivan gone. I know Jamal Pettigrew has a lot to prove coming into this next year, but Arik Gilbert is a name to keep an eye out for next year. Elias Ricks, a 5-star corner, another early enrollee. He's actually my number 1 player in this class. I've loved Ricks all the way back to his Matter Day days, and then he played this last year at IMG Academy. Now, here's a breaking development with both of them. They both had shoulder surgery this offseason, Gilbert and Ricks, so that will somewhat stunt their development when it comes to preseason spring football. But here's the thing. Elias Ricks, he struggled some this past year at IMG Academy. That was because he played through it with a bum shoulder. That shows me more than anything else, he's a dog. He's a fighter. He will fight through injuries. He had nothing to prove this year for IMG. He was already committed to LSU. This was a new school that he went to, a prep school that players from all around the country go to. But him playing through that injury showed me a lot of heart, and it makes me love him even more. So shout out to you, Elias Ricks, for coming through for your teammates, and I cannot wait to see you starting next year. Yes, you heard that right. He will start next year. I know Kerry Vincent there and Cordell Flott, and there's a lot of people jockeying for that opposite corner role from Derek Stingley Jr., but I think Arik Gilbert and Elias Ricks will both start next year for LSU. Here's the one kid I think will be a 5-star defensive tackle, even though he's only a 4-star, Jacobian Guillory. Now look, my viewers in Alexandria, Louisiana, and everywhere else surrounding central Louisiana, I know all about that area, whether it be Gina or Pineville and that whole fertile area. You know, as far as Alexandria is concerned, and Alexandria High, I love Jacobian Guillory. This is one of the best prospects ever. Now look, one of the greatest Louisiana State weightlifters of all time. So he's already got SEC level strength. And I think the shift to the 4-3 is going to help him, because with the 4-3, you got to have 2 interior defensive tackles. And I know Tyler Shelvin's coming back, and I know Ika's coming back, and Glenn Logan will slide inside and help out some. But Jacobian Guillory is a monster. He can sit and swallow a double team already. And I know Jaquelin Roy's rated a little bit higher. I think he's going to be a better prospect in the long run. But day one, Jacobian Guillory will be a rotation player for LSU. And my last one, B.J. Ojulari. He is my number 4 overall rated prospect in this class for LSU. Love him. Early enrollee. I liked him a little bit more as a 3-4 outside linebacker in Dave Aranda's system. So he's going to have to get used to playing a 4-3 and having his hand in the dirt. But in clear pass rushing situations, we saw what LSU did last year with Marcel Brooks. I think the same thing will happen for B.J. Ojulari. He is an early enrollee, and I do think he'll get some snaps right away. And here's a bonus. Why not? Ali Gay, 3-star edge player, JUCO kid. Ed Orgeron's talked about him a lot. He's not going to redshirt. He's going to play him right away. So Ali Gay already has a Division I body, 6'5", 270 plus. His coaches had connections with the LSU staff, which is why Ali Gay ended up in Baton Rouge. So I'm looking forward to it. And even outside of those guys, give me some other guys. What about Jordan Tolles? What about Kayshon Boutte? What about all these great players that LSU brought in? Coy Moore's another name to look out for. Marcus Dummerville. Those are all names that I'm excited to see. Josh White, Antoine Sampa. I want to discuss all of that in the comments section. Don't forget, chatsports.com/champions, promo code 24SHIP for your chance to get some fresh LSU locker room gear. I am at Carter the Power. Get in the comments. Let's have a discussion about next year's LSU football team, okay? We got Scott Linehan to talk. We got all these different things. Let's do it right now in the comments. It's Chat Sports.